Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for another Wednesday webinar. This week it is Unlocking the Magic of the Nutcracker webinar with Stacy Werner. So Stacy, why don't you go ahead and take it away?
Hello, everyone. My name is Stacy Werner, and I am very excited today to share with you all the resources available to you for the Nutcracker on Musicplay Online. So just before we start, just a little bit about myself. I am a kindergarten to grade 6 music teacher just outside of Calgary, Alberta. And I'm also Denise Gagne's daughter, so I just wanted to start today just by thanking everybody for all the kind words and support, as this past year has been very challenging for both my family and for the Musicplay team. But I also know that Denise's greatest joy was bringing a quality music education to students around the world, and also making things as easy as possible for teachers. And so a lot of the resources we're going to share with you today were created by Denise. And then we also have some new things that we're excited to share with you today as well. So I'm just going to share my screen here. And I'll just check with Danae that we can see everything okay. All right,
It
how are
looks great.
we doing, Danae? Looks good? Okay.
Mhm.
Amazing. All right. So, oh, it's not letting me click to my next slide here today. There we go. So our goals for today are to identify and access the Nutcracker resources available on Musicplay Online, demonstrate movement routines and instrumental play-alongs using selections from the Nutcracker, and relate musical concepts to specific songs from the Nutcracker to enhance our student understanding and learning. So just a quick little history of the Nutcracker. So its origins are in a story by E.T.A. Hoffmann titled The Nutcracker and the Mouse King, published in 1816. And then in 1892, they adapted the story into a ballet with music by Tchaikovsky. And initially, it only had a lukewarm response, but it quickly became a beloved holiday tradition, especially in the United States. And it is one of the most performed ballets, celebrated for capturing the magic of the holiday season and the wonder of childhood. So, where to find all of the Nutcracker resources on Musicplay? So the easiest place to find them would be in Unit section on the left-hand menu, and then scroll down to where it says Nutcracker. You can also do a filter and filter for listening resources in the unit section, and then that will kind of narrow it down to a few things, and the Nutcracker will be there for you. So I'll show you that as well, where that is in just a moment. But first, I wanted to talk about a new resource that we're going to be having available in the Nutcracker unit this year, and that's a new digital storybook written by our very own Danae. And so we're really excited about this and the handwritten or hand-drawn illustrations. And what's really nice about this is the music is playing in the background. So I'm just going to go on to the Nutcracker unit here, and I can show you where that is. So, I'm just going to back up for a second. I'm just going to go on to Musicplay Online and show you exactly where to find the Nutcracker unit. So we go down here to Units. And then if you select here Listening Units, that narrows it down a little bit. And then the Nutcracker unit. And so I wanted to start today just by showing you a little bit of the new digital storybook. And let's have a listen.
It was Christmas Eve, and Clara couldn't wait any longer. Her family was hosting a Christmas party. She and her brother Fritz were impatiently counting down the minutes until it began. Finally, their company arrived. Children ran through the house, guests feasted on delicious food, and everyone danced around the parlor. Clara was still waiting for one more guest to arrive. Mr. Drosselmeyer, the toy maker. Whenever he came to visit, he brought new toys to share. Time ticked by, and still no Mr. Drosselmeyer. There was a knock on the door. Clara rushed over, followed closely by Fritz. It was Mr. Drosselmeyer, and they welcomed him in. "Children, I have a special surprise for you all." He placed his bag on the ground and opened it. Reaching inside, he began to pull out all kinds of toys, so many that they seemed to multiply. Wind-up animals, toy soldiers, trains, dolls. There were enough toys for every child at the party to have one. He called Clara over. She peeked into the bag as he revealed the last toy. It was a Nutcracker doll.
Good, so I'll just pause that there because I will let you listen to the whole story on your own time. But for myself, I'm really excited to use this story to introduce the Nutcracker unit with my students this year. Now, if you did love the old one, it is still there for you. And it's also available, the new one is also available in French. And then also here, there is a composer video about Tchaikovsky. So we're going to scroll down and just kind of take a look at what's available for each of the selections from the Nutcracker that we have available on MusicplayOnline. And I want to start today with the Chinese dance. And with this one, I really wanted to feature one of the movement activities, and this is the soldiers and the mice activity. So what you can do for this one, I'm just going to
March like soldiers
and pause. So what I like to do with my class is I split them half into mice and half into soldiers. And when they hear the flute, they scurry like mice. And when they hear the strings plucking, they march. And so let's just have a listen, and you can kind of see how the students can use the visuals on the screen to help them move along with the music. Mice would move, soldiers march. It's a really great way to feature some of those instruments and to identify them and hear them. And I like at the end how they have both of them, so both groups will be up and moving at this point. And then another great feature is these listening maps. So I'll just play a little bit of this one so you can get the idea and follow along with the more smooth sections and the melodic contour. Show you the whole video of this one here because there is so much to go through today. And then I wanted to share with you as well one of the plate routines. So this plate routine was originally made up by Denise, and the original video here, the plates are red, white, and actually this plates here were supposed to be green, but the green screen took away the green, so they're blue instead. And so I thought we should watch a kid's demonstration of this one. And then the video of Denise is really nice because the students can follow along with their plate color and split that up into the 3 groups and they can follow along. But let's see a group of students doing this activity today. So that's a really fun one. My students have always really enjoyed that one. And then if you do want to go beyond and start talking about some of the concepts that you can pull from these songs, there are the listening logs available as well. So here is one that you can project for the whole class. And here you can play the music, and then you could use this as a class discussion. The other option available to you is there are these listening log worksheets as well. So there's an easy version, and then this one also has the grade 5 worksheet version. So you can take a look here, and students can then, if they have the older students, should have the ability to do the writing and answering the questions here, and they can fill in their answers. And also some options for reflecting as well in those listening logs. Okay, another favorite is Dance of the Sugar Plum Fairies. And for this one, I wanted to highlight one of the instrument play-alongs. And you have a few options with instrument play-alongs here as well. So there's this one here, which is an animated one. And so you click, and you can have instruments. You can vary the instruments as well. And it highlights what to play. And then another option that people might not be as aware about is there's this one here as well that's a PDF. And this is one that I actually made up and have used with my students. So this one, it has the part A and then the part B. And then we have a little interlude, and then we go back to part A again. And then I have a kids demo here of my students performing this version. So have a listen. I split the students up into 3 groups here, and we rotated through and tried all the parts first and then tried it with the music. And I've since learned a really great tip for triangles. Instead of having the students hang the triangle off of whatever you use, sometimes we end up using pipe cleaners. Sometimes we still have the little holders that come with the triangle, but I find they always fall off and they get lost. So what I started doing recently is just using a finger, and students hang the triangle on their finger, and then they use the striker still. But this also helps out with them not being quite as loud, and it still gives that ringing sound. And then I keep a few of the proper attachments just in case I do need a triangle that actually rings out really nice and loud. So let's have a listen here. And then we have the shakers for the B section, and then they alternate with it. And yeah, they made up this interlude all on their own. They were having fun with that. Okay, so another really great one in Dance of the Sugar Plum Fairy is the paper plate routine. So this one was made up by Denise. So if you have your plates today, I have my red, green, and white plates today. So I'll bring out my white ones, and you can give it a try and join in with Denise today and follow along. So that's a fun one and just very simple, inexpensive prop that you can bring into your classroom. All right. And next I wanted to just share with you, if you need a sub during this time period, or you just want to set up a center that's very easy in December, the Sugar Plum Fairy listening glyph worksheet is a great one as well. So the students will listen and then they color according to what they hear. So there's a worksheet available there that you can download. And then there is also a projectable of that as well. So you can have this projected on the screen and then play the music while the students are working on that. So it's just a handy one to have in your back pocket just in case. And then another great one is the compare and contrast of the arrangements. And there are worksheets for that as well in this section here. All right, so our next one is Dance of the Mirlitons. And I wanted to share with you something that I created along with this one, and that is using flashlights. And so I initially learned this from Artie Almeida for some of her listening routines. And what she does is she colors the tops of flashlights with permanent markers. And so then when they glow against the wall, you can't really see in here right now, but they glow red. So I have a red one. And then I colored some with blue. And then I also colored some with green. And now finger lights are available, which are much more inexpensive than this. I just recently purchased 80 finger lights in red, white, green, and blue, I think for under $30. So that's another option as well. So for this flashlight routine, I'll just go through the slides here first so you know kind of how it works. And so this is new on MusicplayOnline this year. So for the part A, the blue flashlights are on the wall and they're just going to do dot pulses up and down. And then for part B, we're going to do figure 8 swirls for 32 beats. And then part A comes back again, so back onto another wall for the blue. And then part C is the green flashlights on the wall and we do really big circles. And then when part A comes back again, I like to do the dot pulses then on the ceiling with all the colors, and it just looks really, really neat on the ceiling. And then at the end, we do a coda. We count to 3, 1, 2, 3, flashlights off. So for myself, I like to do this routine usually the week after concerts and usually the last week before winter break. And in Canada, it is very dark. So if I do this routine first thing in the morning, our classes start at 8 a.m. I usually have from about 8 till a little bit after 9 o'clock where it is very dark in my classroom. And then I'll put some black paper over top of the door. So it is as dark as we can get it in there. And here is a demo of my kids performing this for you today.
Swirls over on red. And back to part A. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. And on the count of 3, turn them off. 1, 2, 3, and off.
They always have lots of fun with that one. That one gets many requests every year. All right, on to the miniature overture. For this one, I wanted to show you the animated play along. And this one is nice because it shows the form as well. And you can use it with body percussion or you can use it with instruments. And so let's have a listen to this one a little bit today. And for these types of activities, I like to set my students up into different groups to kind of match the form. And then we try it with the different instruments and give them all a chance to try the different instruments. Also, if you ever need to slow things down, there is this tool over here as well, and you can speed things up or slow things down. So if you are finding that some of these play-alongs are too quick for your students, try that option as well. Okay, and then as well with the miniature overture and with the Dance of the Mirlitons, there is listening log worksheets there as well for you and lots of different options. All right, one of Denise's favorites was Trepak, and she created a really fun scarf routine with this one. So if you have a scarf today, let's give it a try. I like to add a little variation to this one as well. So Denise has always done the up and down, bounce 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Sometimes my students, I let them do a throw and catch in here instead too. So throw and catch, bounce 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that's what we do for the A section. And then for part B, we wash the floor, then we wash the windows, and then we go this side and that side, this side, that side, this side, that side, this side, that side. So let's watch a group of students today performing this one. And this is a super fun one to do with your younger students, pre-K, kindergarten, grade 1. They love this one. Fabulous student demonstration. Also, there is these slides here as well that it gives you the movement prompts, so you could use just to kind of help yourself remember everything when you're teaching it in front of your students. That one here is well. And then also there's a rhythm play along for this one as well. I find this one is quite challenging for my students with the speed of it. So it's pretty quick. So again, use that tool to slow it down a bit, maybe for the first couple tries. Try it. And then students always love the challenge of speeding it up. So maybe try it at regular speed so they get the hang of it. And then even more fun is faster than what your options are. So you could even go faster for a bit of a challenge and also discuss tempo as well with this. Okay, and all right, next up we had the Waltz of the Flowers. So this one we have another paper plate routine with this. So if you have some plates, let's give it a try along with Denise today. Lots of fun. And I also just wanted to show you on the units page that if you just want to hear the audio for a song, you can click here and it will just play the audio for you as well. Okay, so that is available for you now as well. All right. And a great one for your older students is the play along for the march from the Nutcracker suite. And this one is with bucket drums. So if you have buckets available to you, I recommend that you get it ready and we can give it a try. If you don't have a bucket today, you can just tap your fingers on your desk. I have a mini bucket here with me today. Now I did put everything today that we're going through in these slides. But it was just very helpful. Everything's so well organized on Musicplay that I just thought it would be best today for me to kind of just go through everything on there. But I am going to share the slides for this one. And let's just kind of go through it first. And then we can watch a demonstration of this one. Oh, and I went past. Oh, here we go. All right. So part A. Start on the top of your bucket. And the reason I like this one for my older students is we have the triplet rhythm that we can bring into this. I call this triple T. So we start like this on the top of our bucket and we'll go for part A, ta, triple T, ta, 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 thick, ta, 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 thick. Then on the rim, top, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then we end with the, okay, so that's part A. And then for part B, start on the top and we go top, 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 click. Again, top, 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 top. And then part C. And well, part A comes back again, but we're just going to jump right to part C today. We start with our clicks. For 8. Then on the fan, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. And then part A comes back again. Part B, and then part A again. So I did want to highlight today for you the form tool on MusicplayOnline. If you do want to, I think sometimes people don't know about this one, but you could show the students what the form is using these shapes and go through that. So we have part A, part B, part A, and then we have part C, part A again, part B, and then ending with part A. Okay, and there's also intro, ending, and interlude. And so these are just really handy if you just want to reinforce some concepts about form. And then there's also these great bucket drumming play-alongs, and there's also a black light version of it as well. So let's have a listen to this one here, and feel free to play along on your buckets today. So I wanted to end off today just by sharing with you some of the extra things that are also available on the Nutcracker unit. So I get my desk set up again. Up at the top here, there are also some coloring pages some with no border, some with a border. There's all the listening log worksheets available, and there are some short videos of the different ballet performances, as well as the full-length ballet by the New York City Ballet, and a full family Christmas animated video as well. So there is so much here to keep you busy through the month of December and beyond. So yes, I just highlighted those extra resources for you here. And then my personal favorite version to watch with my students is the Nutcracker by George, I'm not going to say this right, Balanchines, the Nutcracker from 1993. This one was available last year on Amazon Prime. I don't think it's available right now at the moment, but you can purchase the DVD on Amazon. I found this one kept my students' attention the best out of different versions that I've tried. And when I am showing the video or the movie, I try to break it up over a couple of classes, like maybe only show about 15 to 20 minutes at a time, and then we do some sort of game or movement activity. My classes are 35 minutes, so it's too long for them to sit for the whole entire class period. So if we break it up a little bit, that helps them out. And yeah, so I think I got through everything that I wanted to today. I maybe talked a little too fast. So let me know if you have any questions today, but also if you want to learn more from Musicplay Online, we have these Wednesday webinars. They're not every Wednesday, but pretty regularly. There's also the Musicplay newsletter, which I've recently started writing, and I try to include really, really valuable information for teachers in those newsletters and things that are very usable in your classroom. I also recommend joining the Musicplay Teachers Facebook page. There's almost 20,000 teachers on that page, and so any questions you have, you can get answered very thoroughly by that group. There's the Musicplay YouTube page and our Musicplay Instagram. So if you scan that QR code there, you can sign up, and it will give you access to all of those options for you. And then also, please feel free to send me an email. My email is stacy@musicplay.ca. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I feel like I haven't been looking at any people for a while. So, and we'll check in with Danae if there are any questions today.
Hi, yeah, I have a couple of questions. First question, someone is asking, where is the mice and soldier game located? I'm not seeing it under Chinese dance.
Okay, let me see if I can find that for you. Let's just back up here. So if I'm in the Nutcracker unit here, oh, I got to share my screen again, don't I?
Yes.
There we go. Can you see my screen?
Perfect, yeah.
Yeah, so that one is here. I guess it's not called Mice and Soldier Game. It's the movement one, this one here, that will have that activity for you. So you just hit play and then move across
The plucked
here.
strings part.
And then there's the Mice and Soldiers game there. So yes, we could maybe change the label on that, but it is a movement game there.
All right, awesome. Next question. When do you typically do this unit with your students, especially when balancing with preparing students for winter programs?
Yeah, no, that's not easy. I usually don't do everything with every grade level. So usually I'll pick one or two things from each grade level to do it with, or whatever grade I'm not doing a concert with, I'll focus in on it a little bit more. So for example, this year I'm doing grade 3 and 4 concerts. We finish up the second last week of December. And so I'll usually bring in one or two activities that last week of December. And I may not show the full movie. It depends on how much time I have. And then if I have another group that isn't doing a concert at that point in time, these activities can keep you going through all of December. But if you are teaching in the same school, you could make this almost like a spiraling curriculum where you add on every year, and you don't have to do everything because there is so much. So just pick and choose what you think will work best for your students and what works best for you.
All right, awesome. Another question is, this is in regards to the finger lights. Is this safe to do with children who have seizures? And do you have any recommendations in your experience of working with that or working around that? What do you recommend?
I would recommend that you talk to a learning specialist in your school before doing that. Or if you have a student that has that type of a medical condition, I would talk to the parents as well before doing that and just finding out like what do you think that they can handle in that situation. And then maybe another option would be maybe do it once with the lights on so that they can participate and it's not as bright. But yeah, I would check in with your learning specialist and with the family and find out what the best option is for that student.
All right, perfect. And last question is the storybook read in one straight video or broken into smaller videos for different days?
It's one video. Yes, and it's about 8 to 9 minutes long, I believe. Yeah. So again, too, if your kids are a little squirrely, you could break it up and split it into 2 classes. But it's really well done, and I'm really excited to use it with my students in a few weeks here. Danae did an awesome job.
Yay, thank you. That is actually all of the questions that we have. I'll just double check on YouTube. Yeah, it looks like that is all of our questions for today. Perfect. So unless anyone has anything else that they would like to ask, I think we're good to go.
Okay, well, I wish you all well as we enter into what I like to call is the busiest season of being a music teacher, that time between, I know in Canada, it's Remembrance Day, up until Christmas concert time. I know my week is crazy busy with all of that as well, so I really appreciate you coming on here and taking some time to learn with us today. And please feel free to email me any questions, and we look forward to seeing you again soon on our Wednesday webinars.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Stacy. And thanks again, everyone, for joining us. If you just so happen to be a Francophone teacher or a French immersion teacher, we are having a webinar next week on French resources on Musicplay. Anyways, we'll see you later. Enjoy the rest of your evening.